What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Maverick Raven coming at you with another one, and I'm gonna go ahead and apologize in advance. I think I'm getting sick. My throat hurts. It's gonna sound a little froggy if you know what I mean. But don't worry, no frogs are coming out or anything. Dad joke, see? But at least I recognize that it's a dad joke. Anyways, this one is kind of interesting because it's setting up for a Supreme Court decision. So let's get into this article right away. But before I shouldn't have said right away because I gotta do the social media thing. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, do all those good things to help me out. Join the flock. The water's warm. Now that I got that out of the way, it says undated Pennsylvania mail-in ballots should not be counted. Appeals court rules. The decision sets up a potential Supreme Court showdown over the swing states ballots ahead of the November presidential election. If that is the case, if that is the case, then obviously the Supreme Court would need to accept they would need to accept the case to even review it. Number one, and number two, you got to wonder if they're even going to be able to review it in terms of time because the Supreme Court, the wheels there tend to roll slowly, very, very slowly. Those gears grind real slow. Pennsylvania mail-in ballots that are not dated on the outside envelope by the voter should not be counted even if they arrive at a county election office on time, a three-judge appeals court panel ruled on Wednesday. The 2-1 decision from the U.S. Third Circuit Court of Appeals strikes down a lower court ruling and sets up a potential Supreme Court battle over Pennsylvania's mail-in ballots that began in 2020 and will almost certainly affect how the swing states ballots are handled in the upcoming presidential election. See, that's the thing. And also I have to laugh because the Third Circuit Court of Appeals is like so leftist. I'm surprised that this is the case, that they ruled this way. At issue is the materiality provision of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which prohibits officials from denying anyone from voting because of an error or omission on any record or paper relating to any application, registration, or other act requisite to voting, unless it is material to the person's qualification to vote. That that's a weird one to pitch, if you ask me. Because the date decision is irrelevant to whether a vote is received timely, the Blink response is to believe a voter's failure to date or return envelope should not cause his ballot to be disqualified. Senior U.S. Circuit Judge Thomas Ambrose wrote in the decision Wednesday, but the provision only applies when the state is determining who may vote, Ambrose added, and does not apply to rules like the date requirement that govern how a qualified voter must cast his ballot for it to be counted. Ambrose, who was nominated by President Bill Clinton, I almost called him Bill Clinton like he wasn't president. Yeah, and he wasn't that bad. He was bad, but he wasn't that bad. Noted that the date requirement serves little apparent purpose, but since the state's Supreme Court ruled that dating of envelopes was mandatory, undated or misdated ballots are invalid under state law and must be set aside. The question of whether ballots with a missing or incorrect date should be counted has been a factor in elections since Pennsylvania's no excuse absentee voting law took effect in 2020, known as Act 77. The law made voting by mail a popular option that year, but there have been numerous challenges and disputes over how to consider ballots with return envelopes that are filled out incorrectly. The requirement of a date on the return envelope has caused particular confusion and consternation for voting rights groups and the courts. It's true. This has been going on and 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 on forever. And eventually that ride needs to stop. The ride needs to stop. The problem is the decision needs to be the right decision, right? So that's why they would say what is the wheels of justice turn slowly too. The wheels of justice are turning slowly here, man. It sucks. It really sucks. I wish I could tell you that this is gonna be decided in a month or in 2 months, 3 months, but it's gonna be close to November. If it's even heard again by November. In response to a lawsuit filed by the Republican National Committee in 2022, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court ruled that more than 10,000 mail-in ballots on which voters had not written the date on the outer envelope or had written the wrong date should be rejected. Of course they should be. In November, Erie-based U.S. District Judge Susan Paradise Baxter ruled that ballots or with incorrect or missing dates on the return envelope must be counted if they are received by election day. Okay, kind of crazy, but whatever. That you know, people, fill out your ballots correctly, man. Like this is important stuff. Okay, your vote matters. Fill it out correctly. Jeez. Baxter found that rejecting ballots for the day requirement violates federal law against disenfranchising voters with the requirements not material to their qualification to vote. The RNC appealed that ruling, with 17 Republican led states submitting an amicus brief in support of the RNC's position. Cool. And the Third Circuit heard the case in February. That's crazy. That is crazy. Pennsylvania redesigned its mail-in ballots for this year. Oh, Lord in heaven, I wonder. Circuit Judge Patty Schwartz, who was nominated by President Barack Obama, wrote in a dissenting opinion Wednesday that the ruling was a reminder to voters to carefully review all instructions. Duh, dude. Like, if they do not, they risk having their otherwise valid votes discounted based on even the most inconsequential mistake, Schwartz wrote. One can only hope that election officials do not capitalize on the majority's narrowed interpretation of the materiality provision by enacting unduly technical and immaterial post registration paperwork requirements that could silence the voices of qualified voters. Dude, again, I'm old school. I don't trust this mail-in ballot bullshit, because you could be putting in ballots from God knows where, and it, and dead people could be voting, and the frogs are turning gay, and all that good stuff. Newly appointed RNC chairman Michael Whatley hailed the decision on Wednesday. Yeah. This is a crucial victory for election integrity and voter confidence in the Keystone State and nationwide, Whatley said in a statement. Pennsylvania deserves to feel confident in the security of their mail ballots, and this Third Circuit ruling roundly rejects unlawful left-wing attempts to count undated or incorrectly dated mail ballots. Republicans will continue to fight and win for election integrity in courts across the country ahead of the 2024 election. That gets a short one, oh Lord, I'm gonna butcher this name. Ari Savitsky, senior staff attorney with the ACLU's Voting Rights Project, who argued the case before the Third Circuit, said Wednesday the organization was considering all of its options. Oh God, Ari, you're part of something, a group that used to mean something and now means absolutely nothing. The ACLU is garbage now. There was a time when the ACLU literally defended Nazis, dude, and I mean literal Nazis, like skinheads, Fourth Reich, they wanted to enact the Fourth Reich type of thing, Nazis, like real Nazis. And now it's just what's popular and the minorities and this and that and blah blah. And as your resident, because now you can say you have a resident minority in your back pocket, as your resident friendly neighborhood minority, I can tell you that that's bullshit. The ACLU should be on the right of should be on the right side, not the minority side. The thousands of voters affected here are eligible and registered, Savitsky said in a statement. They completed their mail ballots, signed the return envelope, and got their ballots in on time. Their votes should count. Of course they should. We strongly disagree with the panel majority's conclusion that voters may be disenfranchised for a minor paperwork error, like forgetting to write an irrelevant date on the return envelope of their mail ballot. You see how disingenuous they are? An irrelevant date. So it doesn't matter when it is. It doesn't matter when it. Like, dude, listen. Anybody that's taking a test, if you don't write your name, it shouldn't count for you. If you don't write the correct date, how are they supposed to know when you took the test? The SATs, they freaking grade you just for getting your name correctly, dude. This is all bullshit, and the fact that people can't see it is amazing to me. We are considering all of our options at this time, and we will not stop fighting for voters. Whatever, bro. You know what, dude? You need to quit your ACLU position and join like an activist group for left-wing causes because that's all you give a shit about. Just like I need to join an activist group for right-wing causes because that's all I give a shit about. These are jokes, people. Dad jokes, but they're jokes. Anyways, that's all, you guys. Be safe. Be good to one another. Stay based.